What's up, BC Squad? Today I'll be telling y'all my story time of my son having a seizure. And my son just turned 1 month Sunday, and he had it the week before he turned 1 month, or the week before he turned 1 month. And I was so scared. Like, it was my bad for the noise, like this noise, like that noise. It's because of the chair that I'm sitting on. I'm in my dad's bathroom because it's getting dark outside. It's no good lighting, and the bathroom in my the lights in my bathroom is yellow, and my son is sleeping with my brother in the room, so I don't want to make noise and wake him up because he's been really fussy. Like, I guess his stomach hurts or whatever, and he has been really fussy, and he keeps fighting his sleep. So my brother finally got him to sleep, so I don't want to wake him up. I'm trying to let him get a good sleep, so when he wakes up, hopefully he feels better. But anyways, gotta get the story out the way before my people come home. But anyways, I'm just gonna tell y'all my story time of my son having a seizure, and I'm gonna try to stop moving. But anyways, let's get into the story. I don't remember what day it was, but we were home alone. My mom was at work, my dad was at work. It was just me, my sister, and my brother. And I was in the living room folding his clothes because I just got done washing all his clothes. So he was in his bouncer in front of me while I was folding his clothes, and he cried for like, he was fine the whole time I was doing the clothes. I was doing what I needed to do, putting some of the clothes away, folding the next pile of his clothes, putting his clothes in the washing machine, taking it out, putting it in the dryer. He was fine the whole time. He was sleeping. He was perfect. He didn't do nothing but sleep. So when I was folding his clothes, I actually stopped for a little bit because my aunt, she called me on FaceTime. Because she calls me on FaceTime every day to see him. So she called me on FaceTime, and as a baby, like, if you don't swaddle them, they will, like, while they'll sleep, they'll, like, move their hands or whatever and, like, jump and get scared. I don't know why, but that's what my son does. I don't know if other babies do that, but comment down below if they do. But anyways, I was on FaceTime with my aunt, and he was in the bouncer, and she was like, why is he moving like that? Because he was moving a lot, but I thought it was regular because he does move in his sleep. Like, when I told y'all he moves his hands, like, he'll jump in his sleep or whatever. So I wasn't thinking of it like it's regular. I was like, he always does that. She was like, oh, okay. So then she was like, I'll call you back in a little bit because somebody else called her. So I was like, okay. So then I got back to folding his clothes. In like a minute after, no, about 5 minutes later after I hung up the call, I called my mom, and I was like, oh, Mom, my head is hurting. She was like, okay, take some Advil and just try to get some sleep. Give the baby to my sister. So I was like, okay. So right that second I hung up the phone, he cried for a sec. He cried for like 2 seconds, and I picked him up in my hand. And I probably look stupid doing this, but I'm gonna do it to show y'all what was going on. So I picked him up, and right when I picked him up, he was like this. He started shaking like that. His eyes turned white. He started foaming out his mouth. He got really hot. He was turning red. And I didn't want him to choke, and when he throws up, like when he just throws up out of nowhere after I feed him, or when he's burping and he just throw up or whatever, I flip him over and I pat him on his back so all the throw up could come out, because I'll tell y'all another story what happened at the hospital on a different vlog. I mean a different video. But when he throws up, I flip him over, I pat him on his back to make sure he doesn't choke on his throw up or whatever. So in my head, that's what I did, because I didn't want him to choke on whatever he was foaming up. So while that was happening, I was I'm gonna tell y'all this. In my house, I don't wear any pants because of my C-section. All my clothes are tight, kind of still, they're tight. I don't want to wear pants because of my C-section. I don't want anything holding where they cut or whatever. So I was not in any pants, but I was in like a onesie, like a, what you call it? A bodysuit. I was in a bodysuit that I was wearing earlier that day. And then I had just had on like the hospital underwears. And I do like the hospital underwears because they're like boy shorts, but they're like high-waist boy shorts. And it's kind of cute to me, but other than that, that's what I was in. But you could see through it. You could tell it's underwears. So that's what I was in. And in my mind as a mom, as a young mom, I mean, well, first-time mom, you don't know what to do. Your mind is not telling you to call 911. Well, in any situation, as you are scared, the first thing to your head is not to call 911. I mean, I know it should be, but y'all know y'all do not call 911 right away. I mean, well, some people do, but for me, first time thing, it was not no 911. It's get my son to the hospital on my own. Because, you know, sometimes the hospital, 911 takes forever. They trying to do whatever they doing. That was not going through my head. So I was like, while I was patting him on his back, I'm running to the door, no clothes on, just my hospital underwear and my bodysuit. My brother asleep, my sister in the room, and my sister just got her driver's license. So I was like, Kanisha, call mommy, call mommy. I'm not going to yell on camera, but y'all know I'm yelling. I was like, Kanisha, call mommy, call mommy. I'm running to the door naked, basically naked. I did not care who see me naked that night. It was get my son to the hospital, make sure my son do not go away on me today. So I was like, Kanisha, call mommy, call mommy. And my sister, she's not the person. She's not the type to, like, she's like very calm in any situation. So when my mom heard my sister yelling on that phone, like about to bust out crying, she run into the door with me. She grabbed my brother while he's asleep. Well, she grabbed him, let him know, like, we gotta go. So all of us ran to the car. We ran to the car. I'm still patting the door. She's like, get in, it's open, it's open. So we got in the car, we pulled off, and we on the phone with my mom. No, when my sister was on the phone with my mom, everybody was yelling, everybody was scared, because we don't really be, like, everybody in the family is old enough to know what to do. So we don't have no babies around to be shocked or get scared. So we all was like, our head was just going crazy. Nobody know what to do. Everybody was just trying to make sure my baby is safe. So while my mom was on the phone with my sister, she was like, okay, hang up and call 911. But remind you guys, everybody was yelling, everybody was scared, everybody was trying to get my son to the hospital. So I guess she did not hear my mom say call 911. So we got into the car. We drive into the hospital. My mom's coming to us. My mom passed us. We passed our mom. But thank God, we got a hold of my mom, because we were calling her at the same time she was calling us, so the call was not going through. So once the call got through, my mom was like, is 911 there yet? We was like, what? We on our way to the hospital. We by the bank. We were by the bank. We because at the it's a stoplight, and then it's like a way to like basically cut through the stoplight. Do not go through the stoplight. So I told my sister to cut through the bank, and my mom was like, "Stop right there! I'm on my way! I'm right around the corner." Not even 5 seconds later, my mom pulled up. So my mom pulled up. He was still foaming. My mom grabbed him. I got out the car. My brother got out the car. My brother had to undress in the middle of the bank. It was dark time. It was around 10 something, so nobody was really out there. Nobody seen my brother get undressed. So my brother got undressed. I ain't had on no shoes. Nobody had on no shoes. No nothing. So my brother had to get undressed because he was in gym shorts and a t-shirt he wore that school day. So my brother had to get undressed. I put on my brother's clothes, and I got in the car with my mom and my son. And my mom's like to my sister to go home and get let my brother put on some clothes. You put on some clothes and then come meet us at the hospital. So me and my mom went to the hospital. But when we called my mom from the house, I'm telling y'all the story time of my mom leaving her job to come get us from the baby, with the baby. So when my sister called my mom and was like, the baby's not breathing, something's wrong with Jaden. So my mom was like, what? And then she on the phone running off her job talking about something. My daughter said the baby's not breathing. I'll be back if I can. And my mom flying down her job like I don't know what. Like, I don't never see my mom run, because she don't run. Like, it's nothing for us to run about. So I just imagine her running down her job, just running off her job, speeding down the road. Because my son is my mom's baby. Like, y'all ever got that grandma that is, well, your mom, like, she wants your baby, period. Like, she want everything to do with your baby. So that's the type of mom I got. So my mom ran, like, it was crazy. So once I got into the car with my mom, I was still holding him, patting him to make sure he wasn't, making sure he wasn't choking on his spit or whatever the foam was. So we got to the hospital, and he was kind of like getting back up to where he's supposed to be. So we ran into the emergency, but I ain't had on no shoes, but I looked at a hot mess. My hair was not done. Nothing was done. When I tell you guys, I looked at, like, I don't even know what to explain, to call it. I was looking a hot mess. I did not care who seen me. I just had to make sure my son was okay. So when we got to the hospital, my mom was like, we have a baby that has a seizure. And the thing that made me so mad was the people was moving so slow just to check us into the hospital. I'm thinking y'all not about to check us into the hospital. Like, my son is not okay. I don't know what's going on with my son. I don't know if it was a seizure or not. You guys should grab my son out my hand and take him to wherever he needs to go to and make me run behind y'all and make sure that my son is okay. Y'all talking about you check her in. No, you check her in. Don't check me into nowhere. Make my mom check us in or whatever. Let me go into the room with my son and y'all check what's going on with my son. Make sure my son is okay. Make sure nothing is going on with him. Make sure he is going to live. You guys are worrying about who gonna check us in. Y'all don't know what to do with the computer. The computer's down. So y'all trying to tell me that y'all don't care about my son. Y'all just gonna let my son be the way he is, and y'all here sitting who gonna check us in? No, baby, y'all need to get me to the room and make sure my son is okay. So my mom, she standing at the corner. They told me to follow them into a room, so I went to the room, and the lady is walking slower than a snail. Like, look, girl, if you don't pick up your steps in front of me before I step on your shoe, because you taking way too long to get into the room to make sure my son is okay. So once we got into the room, they was like, okay, sit down with your son. They put like what you call it when they put on your arm to take your blood pressure. I think that's what it is, to take your blood pressure. So they put it on my put it on his feet. They put it on his feet, hooked him up to the thing to make sure he was breathing okay. He was breathing okay. I mean, his blood pressure was okay. They told me put him on the weight scaler, or whatever you call it. And they told me sit back down, but I was in the room with him. So they told me sit back down. They got the temperature stick that you put in your tongue. I never knew for babies they put it in your butt. I was like, what the heck? Like, what are y'all doing to my son? Like, yo, do not stick that up his butt. Like, don't do that. No. I was like, what the freak? So after they did that, they gave me back my son. I was like, could y'all give me some socks? Because I ain't had on no shoes. So I was like, could y'all give me some socks? My mom came to the room, like, me and my mom was, like, it was just, like, silence. Me and my mom was just trying to make sure my son is okay. Like, they going mad slow doing whatever they doing. And me and my mom was just looking at each other like, y'all need to hurry up. Like, come on and try to figure out what's going on with him. Make sure he's okay. But when they stuck the stick up his butt, he started crying. His color came, like, when we got back, while they were arguing at the computer talking about which one y'all want to sign in, his color came back. The phone was still at his mouth, but wiped it away, and there was no more. So then they took us in the room. He was still kind of iffy, but he was breathing. His color came back, but he was sleeping. So when we got into the room, he fell asleep. He was breathing okay. His color came back. The doctor came in and was like, "Oh, this is Jaden." I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, we got to prick his feet to take some blood sugar. They had to check his sugar or his iron. So they pricked his feet. They took it in. They said it took them about an hour to come back, and they were like, "Oh, his blood pressure, his sugar is okay." And then they was like, they left the room, and somebody else came in and was like, "Oh, that doctor had to go home, and another doctor is coming for you." So the next doctor came in and was asking us, what's going on, or like, what happened? Did you see what happened? I was like, yes, I seen what happened. Duh, I would not bring my son here. Like, I would not bring my son here if I didn't see what happened or whatever, if I didn't think my son was okay. So they was like, tell us what happened. So I was like, he was sleeping. I was like, he was sleeping fine. Everything was perfect. They was like, did you feed him? I was like, he didn't. He went to sleep way after I fed him. So I don't think it's because of I fed him. He went to sleep way after I fed him. So I was like, he was sleeping in his bouncer, and he cried for like 2 seconds. I picked him up, and right when I picked him up, he started shaking. His eyes turned white. He was foaming out the mouth. He turned red. He was really hot. And then they was like, okay. So they was writing that down, and they was like, okay, they're coming to take a scan, a X-ray scan, whatever they said it was, of your son. So I was like, okay. So some other people came in with the big machine, and it was like, you have to get up out the bed and put your son on the bed and hold his hand like this. So that's what I did. They took a picture of whatever they took a picture of on my son, and they was like, my mom was like, y'all only gonna take one picture, y'all not gonna take more than one picture just in case anything else? They was like, no, one is fine. So they left the room, and then they came back, and somebody else came back and was like, oh, he's fine, he's breathing right, he's feeding right, he's his color's back, his skin, like the temperature of his body is good or whatever, so we're gonna let you guys go home. So just because my son is okay when we are in the hospital, and I told you guys what happened before we got to the hospital, y'all gonna send us home and tell us everything is okay? If you guys was smart enough, you guys would have kept us at the hospital for like at least a night or a couple more hours to make sure nothing else would happen to him, or make sure everything is okay with him. Just because he's okay for that little bit amount of time that we were in the hospital does not mean he's going to be okay when we leave the hospital. So I was really mad. Like, I was really mad at that, but I didn't say nothing. I was like, okay. So then we called my aunt. We told them what was happening. We called my brothers, my older two brothers that live in New York. We called them. We told them what happened, and we did go home. And when we got home, I fed him and I burped him, changed him, and he actually slept through the whole night. That was his first time actually sleeping through the whole night. And he was actually okay after that. And he never had another seizure or anything. Whatever that was, he never had it again. And this is the end of this video. That's what happened to my son. I just thank God that he is okay. Nothing is wrong with him. Whatever he had, whatever that happened to him that night, I pray that it don't happen again, that he stays okay. So I'm gonna end this video off. I might do another story time of what happened to him in the hospital. So comment down below if you guys will want that story time. Comment down below if you guys want any more story times. Comment down below if you guys want me to start doing story times, or you guys comment some story times y'all think I have to tell you guys, and I will try to start doing story times for you guys. I hope you guys like this video. Comment down below. Subscribe, turn on your notifications so you guys don't miss any videos that I'll be posting. Make sure you click that bell, share my video, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. See y'all in my next video. Bye.